Hello everybody, this is Mr. Leaves. Next to me here is the AZA Cube 802. It's one of the bigger cube cases that AZA has released, and it's part of their unique case series with pyramid case, the cube case, and I think it's in a similar market of like a Deepcool Questseller or some of the more unique in-wind cases that we have seen. This case retails for $369 Canadian, sorry. And in terms of looks, this case here looks pretty nice. It's got a unique look to it. It's the first time I've seen the RGB strips on the side of the case, and this case is more for people that want a showpiece in their house or their living room, or if they really like the looks of the case. I think it's ideal for a home theater PC or a VR PC. Not VR PC, but like a home theater PC or living room PC for something to go along with your TV, just as like a showpiece, as something you want to show people when they come over. But however, for $369, is it really worth it, or are there better options? I've built a system in this case, and here are my opinions, my thoughts and opinions on this case. So right off the bat, as you can see, this case is a cube design. It is detachable from the base, and it includes 5 RGB fans, 4 in the front and 1 in the back. This case is unique to have 3 LED strips on the side, which is controlled by the remote controller, or it can be controlled by the motherboard with the 5V RGB header. In terms of cooler clearance, you can go either with an air cooler of up to 165mm in height, or a 120 or 240 liquid cooler AIO. Drive support: only 2.5 inch drive can be installed onto this case, or only one 3.5 inch drive. Alright, so after building this case, here's what I think. So initially, by the looks of it, it's a cube case, so in terms of space efficiency, it's kind of already thinking what's going to be in the back compartment, because the front compartment will be for the components, but the back compartment, how did they design it? Well, in the back component, it's very empty. There's only one mounting area for the power supply, and that is it. There are no cable tie mounting points at the back, and also the hard drives are mounted to a piece of metal on the very top. It's a very inconvenient way to mount the drives. Only up to two 2.5 inch drives and one 3.5 inch drive. The issue with that is because it's on the very top piece of metal, you're running a cable from the very top to the very bottom, and there are no cable tie downs for this case, so it's going to be a very awkward route for the cable if taking into a cable management standpoint. And what I wish they did is how Lian Li did it with their drive tray on top of the power supply. That way it kind of makes more sense to have a more secure location for the drives. But I guess their approach is just a fast, cheap, and easy way to just have the drive support. And then in terms of the cable management at the bottom, there's only 2 cutouts for the case on the side. On the bottom there is no cutout, so any front I/O cable or any USB audio connector. Well, this case actually doesn't have any of those, just the power switch cable and the power connector, the positive and negative LED connector. So I guess it is not really necessary for this case, so I guess that's why they didn't include it. But it'd be nice if there were more routing options for this case. And then in terms of front I/O, there's basically no front I/O. The only thing you have is the power button, and it's not even secured properly. So in terms of overall quality control, I think it's not that great, but you only do press the power button once when you turn the computer, so I guess there's also that. In terms of radiator mounting location, you can only put up to 240 in the front, or 120 in the front or the back. There is no mounting spot for the top because it is a piece of tempered glass. And if you want to use the fans that came with your AIO, you're either going to have to do push-pull with the pole being in the back for your original fans, and then having the front fans as the RGB fans. Otherwise, you're going to have a weird looking half RGB, half non-RGB, or if you do get RGB IO fans, it's not going to match and it's going to look weird. But at least, however, they do have enough clearance for you to do push and pull. The only downside is if you do that, you're going to be limiting the video card length. So for 2 fan model video cards, you'll be okay, but for 3 fan models, you might run into clearance issues with like the longer cards like the MSI Trio or the newer Asus Strix. In terms of airflow, the airflow in this case is actually quite poor. There's only a 1 centimeter gap in front of the fans here, and there's no mesh of any kind in this case for proper air ventilation, for proper airflow. So in terms of temperatures, I probably wouldn't put any high-end components in here like a Ryzen 9 or i9. Maybe this build is this case is more ideal for i5 or i7 build with the mid-range video card. And at the bottom here, they have no fan support for having air coming straight into the video card. So if you have an AO in the front, then you're going to be limiting that airflow to the video card, which would increase the temperatures. And in terms of overall case quality, the standoffs at the back there's a few sharp cut down points. So when you're building, just be careful because it may cut your finger like it did with mine when you're installing the power supply and running some cables in the back. Another thing I have complained about this case is that there are a lot of cables that are daisy chained together, and with the sheer amount of RGB cables there are, it feels like the empty space in the back of the case is just meant for you to dump all the cables there instead of having like a proper routing and proper tie down location for the cables. And that's basically what I think of this case. Other than just a good showpiece for your living room for a computer, in terms of functionality, it's not the most functional case. It's just big, and I guess it looks good depending on what your definition of looking good is for this case. And that's it for my opinions for this case. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Thank you.